Now, you can't make great bread without first starting off with great wheat. So we're headed to Pullman, where Washington State University students are learning a variety of techniques for successfully growing a wide range of crops. Dr. Michael Neff, an associate professor in the Department of Crop and Soil Sciences, gave us a quick tour of the university's wheat breeding greenhouse. And while GMO wheat is not grown commercially, I was curious to find out what GMOs are and why they're sometimes used within the agricultural industry.
What exactly is GMO? Genetically modified organism. Okay, right. What does that mean?
So a GM plant, or a genetically modified plant, or a genetically modified organism, is an organism whose genome, the DNA, has been altered, or in most cases a piece of DNA has been added in through the process of what we call biotechnology, which is the cutting and pasting of pieces of DNA, assembling a new gene or a new gene variant, and then we use a couple of different techniques to put that DNA into the plant genome and then to generate a plant that is now expressing that new trait in the genome.
Okay, and is any of this?
No, these are all winter wheat that are being part of our winter wheat breeding program. None of the wheat in this room or in any of these rooms in this area are genetically modified. The three main crops that are GMOs are corn, soybean, and cotton.
And why is that?
Well, the two main traits that are used in all three of these plants are herbicide resistance and insect resistance. And these both actually, I think, are major success stories in GM crop production. In the case of herbicide resistance, what we can do is put in a gene that allows the plant to be resistant to an herbicide that kills the weeds. So we can spray that field with that herbicide. The corn, soybean, or cotton is not killed, but all the weeds are. In the case of insect resistance, one of my favorite GM success stories is the papaya story in Hawaii. So papaya is grown in Hawaii. It is susceptible to a virus that is spread by insects. The problem with papaya is there is no genetic material in any papaya plants or papaya relatives that have resistance to this virus. So in Hawaii, the papaya plantation started to get infected with this virus and it completely wiped out production. So scientists at Cornell developed a technology, a GM technology, to transfer a piece of the viral DNA into the papaya plant and basically act like a vaccine to create a papaya that now is resistant to that virus. So that's an amazing story in the sense that we saved a farming industry completely by growing genetically modified papaya.
What about GM plants make people so uneasy?
So there have been a couple of studies that have come out that have suggested that GM crops, like Roundup Ready corn, which is a herbicide-resistant corn, can give rats cancer. There is no credible, reproducible scientific evidence that states that eating a GM crop is dangerous for you because it's GM. One of the things that you hear from people is they say, we've been eating GM since '96 and there's an increase in autism, so it must be caused by GM. And a very important point that I try to make to my students as well as to the public is that correlation does not equal causation. Lots of things have changed since 1996. And changes that happened in our obesity or our health or increase in diabetes, these are caused by many, many different factors.
What is the future of GMO?
GM crops are not the silver bullet. They're not the answer. Organic is not the silver bullet. It's not the answer. None of these approaches on their own are going to solve the major problem that we have, which is feeding an increasing world population with a decreasing amount of arable land. So I think that we're going to realize at some point as a society that we have to use the best of all of the different tools out there in order to most efficiently, effectively, and safely produce food for the world.
To learn more about Washington-grown crops, log on to our website at wagrown.com.